नंतर
वेस्ट वॉटर वरतीच.
ओके, नो प्रॉब्लेम.
थँक्यू.
Okay, guys, instead of starting the session directly from the wastewater, characteristics of wastewater, we will talk little about the wastewater first, and then we'll switch over towards the characteristics of wastewater. So that slide I will share with you first. This is a wastewater engineering. So you have studied, I assume that you have studied the water supply engineering. Okay, in water supply engineering, what you have studied, collection of water from the raw water source, and it will be transported towards the treatment work. And in a treatment plant, you are going to provide the treatment process. So whatever the treatment units included in a water supply engineering are different from the wastewater engineering. After complete treatment to the water will be supplied to the consumers through the distribution network. And once you are supplying that water to the public and reaching to the tap of public or the individual, up to that, it is considered as the water supply engineering. And the moment the water drops from that tap into the sink, it starts the wastewater engineering. Getting? So that wastewater engineering, we will talk little. So this is, you may be knowing that water supply engineering, wastewater engineering. Then actually I have not prepared a separate slides for you guys. So it may take a little disturbances may create, but I will try to keep you connected. So while studying the wastewater engineering, water supply engineering, different concepts you might have understood. Okay. Now, कोणाला समजत नसेल आणि वाटत असेल की बाबा थोडं मराठीत पण सांगा, तर मला थांबवा आणि विचारा. ठीक आहे. जितका वेळ मी तुम्हाला तुमच्या क्लासला यायला लावलाय ना, तितका वेळ मी आता कंटिन्यू पण करणार आहे. ठीक आहे. सो वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी सम कन्सेप्ट्स इन अ wastewater engineering. First, terminology you should know. So the first and foremost important terminology is the sewer. What is meant by sewer? It is a closed conduit, simple pipe. Okay, usually it is constructed pipe or the concrete pipe, pre-constructed pipe, so which is used to collect the sewage from the various sources. This is known as the sewer. So it can be a different types of sewers, egg-shaped sewer, round-shaped, oval-shaped. As per requirement, we can design it. Then there are again different types of sewer as per the carrying capacity, and accordingly it is classified into sanitary sewer and storm sewer. What is meant by sanitary sewer? Which is carrying waste from the individual residence, kitchen, sink, bathroom, then WCs, washing machine, washing places, floor washing, entire domestic waste is being collected. एक सेकंड ना, कसं केलंय, कसं पाठवले पण नाही पण एक्सेल पाठवली की मेलला पाठवली का? ठीक आहे. ओके, ठीक आहे. So the sanitary sewer is collecting that kind of waste generated from the day-to-day activities, or we can say in a scientific language, domestic activities. Now, from that, whatever waste is generating, it can be collected in a separate pipeline that is known as the sanitary sewer. Now, what is meant by storm sewer? A sewer line which is collecting a precipitated water, a runoff water during the precipitation. This is called the storm sewer. Okay, ज्या pipeline मधून ज्या water ला carry केलं जातं, accordingly the name will change. Now, what is meant by sewerage? There are various types of sewer lines: house sewer, then lateral sewer, then submain sewer, main sewer, then all accessories required to connect that all sewer lines. That entire network is known as the sewerage system. That entire network. So whatever shown in the picture, is the sewerage system. So different types of sewer lines connected with the different types of accessories like the manhole, drop manhole, metering system, connections, joints, everything. So that entire network is known as the sewerage system. And so I will not talk much about, just that I want to give you background. Okay. So sources of wastewater, you may be knowing about. Sources of wastewater are the domestic, industrial, infiltration, influence, stormwater. Domestic, just now I explained. Whatever day-to-day activities we are performing, whatever waste generating through this activity is the domestic waste. That properties are different. Then industrial waste is having different properties. Infiltration water means what? So when pipeline is going on, sewage pipeline is going on, there are number of leakages, cracks through the joints and the manholes. And through that, wastewater is getting collected into the pipeline. Do you know one thing? The rate of wastewater generated from each individual is always less than the quantity produced at the collection point or the treatment point. Suppose here is the, I will take the help of scale, slate. Okay, so suppose we were talking about the infiltration, is it? So in the infiltration, here you can see there is a pipeline, okay, provided pipeline, and that pipeline is always have some leakages, and through that leakages there are the cracks, or there may be the manhole constructed. So through that crack or through that manhole, the whatever water from outside region is getting collected into this sewer line is known as the infiltration. And inflow, what is meant by inflow? Water that enters through the drains. बरोबर आहे, तुम्ही कधी पाहिले ड्रेन्स रस्त्याने जाताना? So suppose this is a road constructed and there are some gratings provided near close to the footpath, okay, at both the sides sometimes, or sometimes at only one sides. Okay, so through that grates, or this is a chamber to collect the wastewater running on the road surface. Okay, so this will be collected through this particular opening. That quantity is known as the inflow. And the storm water, specifically we are collecting the runoff rainwater. That is known as the that is known as storm water quantity. So these are the sources. Why I explained about sources to you guys? Because if you know about the sources, then you can until and unless we are not knowing about the sources, you cannot judge the characteristics first thing. And until and unless you are not knowing about the characteristic, you cannot go for the treatment, proper treatment. That is what happens usually when we go to doctors. Is it what they say? They ask us to go for they ask us what is the symptoms. And then they ask us to go for analysis, urine analysis, blood analysis. That is characteristic identification, and then they will provide us a treatment. So this is the right path to go for the proper treatment. Okay, so here I have shown a figure to understand the infiltration process. Okay, sorry. So here you can see this is the infiltration. Okay, through these joints also infiltration and inflow. Whenever you are providing a specific opening for the collection of surface runoff water, and how it will look here in the inner part, you can see here this kind of through these openings it will keep on incoming, and that's why जेवढी quantity generate होते source पासून. What is the source? Suppose individual residence is the source, and from that individual residences a specific quantity may be getting generated. Okay, so whatever the quantity generating and whatever the quantity getting at the end, suppose from this side to this side sewer line is connected. आता या स्पॉट पासून आपण या स्पॉट पासून या स्पॉट पर्यंत क्वांटिटी कन्सिडर करायची झाली, कॅल्क्युलेट करायची झाली, तर व्हॉट वी विल गो फॉर अजम्पशन. सो अमाउंट ऑफ क्वांटिटी जनरेटिंग फ्रॉम दिस सोर्स, this source, this source, this source, this and this one. Okay, and some of these will be the his, but it should be equal, same here, same sum should come, but it is not, it is getting increased. And what is the reason behind that? These are the two reasons behind that: infiltration and inflow. These are the two reasons. Okay, so that's why this is also one of the important parameter while assessing the characteristics of wastewater. So this much background is sufficient. Now I will turn towards the characteristics of wastewater, and before that, if some slides are there, I will take a round, your round here. This is called the surface runoff water from the agricultural area. Okay, so I will stop sharing of this one, and I will share the characteristics of wastewater. Okay, basically characteristics of wastewater are classified into three. What are these three? First thing is the physical characteristic, which is going to be changed the physical appearance of water. Physical appearance of water is going to be changed due to physical characteristics. Then second one is the chemical characteristics, and third one is the biological characteristics. Okay, so first thing, under physical characteristic, what is included? Color of water, odor of water, and temperature of water. Okay, color, what it indicates? Color, if it is the dark black color, what it indicates? It's a highly septic. आपण कधी गटारातलं पाणी पाहिलंय का? आजकाल उघड्या गटारी बंद झालेल्या आहेत, तर पूर्वी असायच्या की रस्त्यावरून जाताना उघड्या गटारी असायच्या. So whatever the black color water you observed, that indicates highly septic water. And whatever freshly generated sewage, it takes always brown color. So color indicates the severity of its septicness. Are you getting? So color is an important physical parameter. It is changing the physical appearance. Okay, because of the chemical change or the biological changes in the water, the color is changing, but the property color indicates that it's a physical property changing, and it indicates the it's a septicness. Okay, then odor. Actually, normally water should be odorless, but as sewage is there, it has a foul smell, and as time passes, its a foul smell increases. So that's why it is very important to get washed out the entire sewage with a minimum period of time. Then it will not be getting a foul smells. Okay. Then the next one is the temperature. Kalte ka?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Ashmita. So temperature is one of the characteristic which is going to be change the rate of biological activities. Rate of biological activities in a water. If the temperature is very less, the rate of degradation will be less. If the temperature is thermal level means 30 to 55 degrees Celsius, then the rate of degradation will be very high. And above 55 degrees Celsius, biological growth will not be observed in the water. The bacteria will get killed. Okay, so this is why the temperature is also one of the important parameter in a wastewater. Now, the chemical characteristics. So list of characteristics is shown over here. So in the next slide, I will show you. So physical characteristics, we spoke about color, odor, temperature, and now turbidity also. So one by one, we will first color. I told you what is the problem with color. It is indicating the septicness, and it can be usually measured on the cobalt scale. It can be measured on the cobalt scale as a unit. Okay, and the standard limit of this cobalt scale unit is the 5 to 25 cobalt unit. Okay, then whatever important to you guys, that only we will discuss. The name of instrument to measure the color of wastewater is the tintometer. The name of instrument which can be used to measure the color of wastewater or the water is known as a tintometer. Okay, then taste and odor. Taste and odor. It depends on the contact of stimulating substance with the appropriate human receptor cell. म्हणजे ते परसेप्शन आहे, म्हणजे मला कुठला वास आवडेल आणि तुम्हाला कुठला वास आवडेल, that is perception. So it changes. But sewage always have a foul smell. But foulness of the sewage will increases with increasing time. म्हणजे जेव्हा फ्रेश असतो तेव्हाच त्याला तेवढा वास नसतो का तो जास्त दिवस गेल्यानंतर. तुम्ही घरात बघा, एखाद दिवशी भाजी संध्याकाळी केलेली फ्रेश भाजी, त्याचा वास, आणि सकाळी त्याचा वास, आणि त्याच दिवशी परत संध्याकाळपर्यंत तो येणारा वास. That is the age of that particular bhaji. So likewise, that is the age of that wastewater. As time passes, age of this wastewater increases, and as age increases, its a foulness and septicness increases. And the name of instrument which is used to measure the taste and odor is the osmoscope. Okay, remember that it is a osmoscope. Now we will talk about the turbidity. Okay, so how turbidity looks like? नदीचं पाणी कसं असतं? Who will tell me about river water? How it looks? How it looks? Okay, further I will segregate the question of नदीचं पाणी उन्हाळ्यामध्ये कसं दिसतं आणि नदीचं पाणी पावसाळ्यामध्ये कसं दिसतं? Someone please. Guys, answer please.
In summer season, we find the river water clean in comparison of other seasons.
Very nice. And what about in a other season? What rainy season?
Brownish like.
Yes, here you can see this water, this type of color will be observed in a rainy season, and this type of color will be observed in a summer season, we can consider. Okay, means when there is no turbidity, the water will look like this, and when there is a turbidity, water will look like this. Simply understood. So addition of foreign particle which reduces the transparency of water is known as the turbidity. Okay, so here it is less transparent, means it indicates high turbidity, and here there is less amount of turbidity, so it is clear, crystal clear water. Transparency is more, so it is no turbidity or less turbidity, you can say. So simply turbidity means that. The turbidity, why needs to be studied the turbidity? Because turbidity causes due to suspended solids. There are three types of solids observed in a water. Three types of solids observed in a water. What are these three types of solids? First one, suspended solids. Second one, dissolved solids. And third one, colloidal solids. Suspended solids remains in a suspension form like this. Either it will be suspending at the surface or it will be settled at the bottom. And because of the presence of these particles, when light is transferred through this, it will be scattered. Instead of transmitting the light, it will be scattered. And we will not be able to see the further. म्हणजे मी जर ह्या पाण्यामध्ये वरतून असा डोळा लावून बघायचं म्हटलं, I can see the base easily. In this water, slightly possible. Less than that, it is possible here. And it is not possible to see the base at this glass because the turbidity goes on increasing here. Okay, means high amount of turbidity, suspended solids are present into this wastewater. And this will not be allowed to perform the further chemical or biological activities. So we need to remove them. This is about the suspended solids, and these are going to change the physical property of water. That's why it is coming under the physical taste, physical characteristics. But the dissolved solids and colloidal solids comes under the which changes the chemical properties of water usually. What is meant by dissolved solids? If I add some salt here and I check the turbidity of water, do I will able to see any change here? No, because it is in a dissolved form. Hey, physical property change karna hai ka? Nahi karna hai. Okay, so it is not going to be changed. Then what is meant by colloidal solids? These are always in a motion. Means these are the charged particles, positive, negative, positive, negative. And because of these particles are charged particles, these are unstable particles. And hence these are always in motion like this. And if you want to remove them, we will not be able to catch them. But for suspended solids, it is possible, either by filtration or by sedimentation. Dissolved solids and colloidal solids can be removed by addition of coagulants. By addition of coagulants. What is the objective of coagulation? Is to perform the agglomeration process. AGGLO, agglomerate, MERATION, agglomeration process. Means what? Very fine particles will come together and will convert into a flock. And once it converts into a flock, it becomes a heavy particle. And once it becomes a heavy particle, it will get settled down easily by the gravity. Okay, that is the function of coagulant. Okay, so this is about the turbidity. Now, what is the unit to measure the turbidity? Turbidity can be measured by different equipments, and accordingly, the names of that names will change. Units will change. Okay. So what is the first unit? आता जर याच पाण्यामध्ये बघायचं झालं, if I take the same glass and I dip a rod which is having this here, I will draw a graduated rod I have, which have marked with some scales on this, and this at the end. At this end, I will be pointing something a different colored, and I will start dipping it into this water, and I will try up to what level I will be able to see with the naked eyes from the top. Okay, this is a rough method to check the turbidity. Okay, so from that I am observing, and I may be able to see this snail until it is reaching to the bottom. But here it may be possible to see up to this, and in this case it may be possible to watch up to this, and in this case it may be we may be able to watch up to this only. So the scaled marks on this scale that will indicate how much amount of turbidity is present into that respective water. And if once you know the quantity of turbidity, you can decide the dose of coagulant. You can decide the dose of coagulant, and hence you should know what is the turbidity of this particular water. Okay, so this is one of the method to check the turbidity. Then you can use the nephelometer, NEPHELOMETER, nephelometer. Then you can use Jackson turbidity meter. Okay, so if it is measured by using nephelometer, the unit used for that will be NTU. If it is measured using Jackson turbidity unit, then unit can be given as a JTU. And if it is measured by this process, milligram per liter, and if it is the milligram per liter, definitely it will be ppm, because there is a relation between milligram per liter and ppm. What is that relation? Who will tell me? Who will tell me the relation between ppm and milligram per liter? Does anybody knows? Does anybody knows about this? No? Don't know? 1 ppm is equal to 1 milligram per liter. So that means ppm and a milligram per liter is nothing but one and the same unit. Okay, mathematically we can also prove that 1 ppm is equal to 1 milligram per liter. Okay, if you are interested, you can perform that. You can search on that how it can be converted. 1 ppm is equal to 1 milligram per liter. Okay, so this is about the turbidity. NTU, JTU, BTU, milligram per liter, ppm are the units can be used to measure the turbidity. Okay, now we will talk about the chemical characteristics. It is pH, chloride content, then sulfides and sulfates, nitrogen content, fat, grease and oil, then dissolved oxygen, biochemical oxygen demand, and chemical oxygen demand. These are the various parameters included in a chemical characteristics. So we'll talk one to one. So first is the pH. Okay, do you know guys, pH, since childhood we are learning about the pH. Okay, so pH is in the range of 0 to 14. 0 to 14. And this is a 7. So from 0 to 7, it can be considered as acidic. And from 7 to 14, it is called as alkaline. Okay, so this acidic nature is in the range of 0 to 7, and at 7 it is called the neutral. Okay, and for drinking water, a standard limit is 6.5 to 8.5, and it can be measured by using a pH meter. तुम्ही pH meter पाहिला असेल, लॅबोरेटरी मध्ये pH meter दाखवला असेल तुम्हाला प्रॅक्टिकलला. नसेल दाखवला तर मॅडम तुम्हाला दाखवतील एखाद्या प्रॅक्टिकलला. ओके, सो pH meter can be used directly. It is a digital pH meter. Directly you can deep into this particular solution and you can find out whether it is acidic, and if it is acidic, what is the specific acidity, what is the specific alkalinity. Okay, so this is about the chemical character pH of the wastewater. Now we'll turn towards the next characteristic of wastewater, and that is nothing but the chlorides. So whether chloride is that much harmful to the human being, why we need to go to check the chloride? Chloride is nothing but the amount of chloride ions present into sewage. Okay, in the form of calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, iron chloride, sodium chloride, all these. Okay, so why usually through the human excreta, the chloride mixed into the sewage. Usually we people used to consume around 16 gram of chloride on daily basis. किती? 16 ग्राम मीठ आपण दर दिवशी खातो. That's why if chloride is present into sewage, that indicates that sewage is highly contaminated with the human excreta. And if it is highly contaminated with the human excreta, the quality of sewage definitely dangerous. There may be the microorganisms, bacteria, various all other parameters will be present. So that's why chloride test is important. Basically, chloride is not that much harmful. It is not necessary to immediately remove, but it is used as an indicator. It indicates that it is this wastewater is contaminated with the human excreta. Then next one characteristic is the sulfates. Sulfates, it occurs in a water due to leaching from sulfate mineral and oxidation of sulfides. These are associated generally with calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, sodium sulfate, like this. Okay, so usually odor and corrosion is the problem of sulfates present into the wastewater. If it is the highly aerobic water, okay, and that's why if it is amount of sulfate is more, it will tend towards the corrosion of that particular instrument. Okay, so that's why. And also smell. H2S, hydrogen sulfide. Sulfate is formed in the form of hydrogen sulfide. At that time, it will give us a bad smell, very odd smell. So smell and corrosion, both are the dangerous activities are being performed, observed due to the presence of sulfate in a sewage. Okay. Then interesting one point came up here, and that is nothing but the biochemical oxygen demand. Biochemical oxygen demand, how we can define it? How we can define it? Amount of oxygen consumed by the microorganisms while they decompose the organic matter in presence of oxygen at a specified certain temperature is known as the biochemical oxygen demand. Okay, you can see here. Check. BOD, usually biochemical oxygen demand, amount of organic matter consumed by the microorganism in presence of oxygen at certain temperature is known as a biochemical oxygen demand. You can remember this way: amount of organic matter consumed by the microorganisms in presence of oxygen at a certain temperature, it is called as the biochemical oxygen demand. Again, BOD demand is of two types. BOD demand is of two types. What is these two types? Carbonaceous and carbonaceous BOD and nitrogenous BOD. Nitrogenous BOD. Okay, I might have written in the further slide. Let me check if it is in front of you. It becomes easy to understand actually. Here it is written carbonaceous and nitrogenous BOD. Okay. The requirement of dissolved oxygen for the process is called a nitrogenous BOD, nitrogenous oxygen demand, that is NBOD, while requirement of oxygen for degrading carbonaceous organic matter is referred as CBOD or the carbonaceous BOD. Generally, the nitrifiers have slower growth rates. Generally, nitrifiers have slower growth rates and do not flourish until the food supply is heterotrophic, CBOD. Okay, I think you are not understanding with this line, but in simple language, I will tell you. There are two types of BOD. One is the pencil घेतली तर slide change होत नाही, slide change केली तर pencil change होत नाही. Okay, here we will talk. CBOD, carbonaceous BOD and nitrogenous BOD. Okay, जोपर्यंत carbonaceous BOD, first degradation of carbonaceous BOD performs, and then later on degradation of nitrogenous BOD starts, and that's why this BOD, this is a one after another process. Amount of oxygen consumed for the degradation of carbonaceous material, that BOD is known as the CBOD or carbonaceous BOD, and amount of oxygen consumed for the degradation of nitrogenous material is known as the NBOD and or nitrogenous BOD. Okay, understood? So these are the two types of BOD. Now, how to measure the BOD? How to measure the BOD? BOD can be measured by using a test, a titration method, or some equipments are also available. So titration method, how this can be titrated? Titration method म्हणजे काय माहिती का? What is meant by titration method? Here is the titration stand, and to this titration stand there will be a burette, and this burette will be filled with a particular titrant. Okay, and this titrant, a particular titrant I'm saying, and here will be the conical flask. Okay, in the conical flask you can take a quantity of sewage which you want to taste. So that method is known as the titration method. So same method you can use to determine the BOD, but instead of directly calculating BOD, what we are calculating? We are calculating dissolved oxygen. Then how could we go for this BOD finally? So suppose there is a stream or a river, and we have taken two bottles today, two bottles filled today to measure the BOD. So out of that, one bottle I will perform today, one bottle test, I will perform the DO test, and that DO can be identified as a DO naught. Another bottle I will keep into the incubator, certain temperature, word certain temperature, is it? So to connect that, I will keep that another bottle into incubator. Second bottle I will keep into incubator, and then I will note down the dissolved oxygen level at 5th day at 25 degrees Celsius, certain temperature. So difference between DO5 and DO naught is nothing but the amount of BOD present into that particular sewage. Okay, actually there is a much more to understand further, but as I am taking a part of characteristics, I can take only this much part. Okay. So I hope you are understanding. So biochemical oxygen demand can be measured in a milligram per liter. Amount of dissolved oxygen consumed for the degradation of organic material is known as the biochemical oxygen demand at a certain temperature, specific temperature. Now, chemical oxygen demand. Chemical oxygen demand is an indicative measure of amount of oxygen that can be consumed by reactions in a measured solution. It is commonly expressed in a mass of oxygen consumed over volume of solution, which is SI units in milligram per liter. Okay, in my language, I can explain you. BOD is a simple amount of organic material. The difference between BOD and COD in a simple language, I can say amount of organic materials decomposition. Amount of organic material decomposition by the microorganism is the BOD. Whereas COD is amount of organic material and inorganic material degraded by chemical reaction. Chemical reaction is called the COD. This test is being performed at 20 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius, whereas this test can be performed at 103 degrees Celsius. Always COD is higher than the BOD because BOD measures only the organic material which is possible to decompose by the microorganisms, and COD measures amount of organic material degradation as well as inorganic material degradation. That's why COD is always high. Okay, so this is about the COD, and COD test can be performed by using the COD meter. So first of all, you need to take the sample, and then acidic hydration must be done, and after acidic digestion for 3 hours, you can measure the amount of chemical oxygen demand present into that particular sewage. So this is about the physical characteristics. Now we'll talk about the biological characteristics. Usually aquatic plants, aquatic animals, aquatic molds, bacteria, viruses, all these are present into wastewater. Okay, and these are nothing but the bacteriological parameters. जे पण जीवजंतू पाण्यात जन्मतात आणि वाढतात आणि जगतात, that called the bacteriological characteristics. Mainly we test coliform test. We performs coliform test to get know the characteristics, biological characteristic of wastewater. What is this coliform? There are 2 groups of coliform. One is the pathogenic coliform and another is the non-pathogenic coliform. Non-pathogenic coliform. So pathogenic coliform, pathogenic bacteria is harmful to the human being. And these are not harmful. It is a required one, not harmful bacteria. But these bacteria, okay, sorry, pathogenic bacteria survives for a less time ulta hua. It survives for a more time than the non-pathogenic bacteria. They survive for less time. Okay, then to find out the pathogenic bacteria is quite difficult and time-consuming method. it takes a lot of time and lot of exercise to get know whether pathogenic bacteria are present into the wastewater or not. Comparatively, for finding out the non-pathogenic bacteria takes a less time. But you may be thinking, if it is not harming us, why should go for the non-pathogenic test? Because it can be used as an indicator. It can be used as an indicator. कुठे गेलं? Okay. काय झालं? Just give me a minute. Yeah. I will reshare the slide. Something went wrong from my side. I will reshare the slide. Guys, is it visible to you guys? Visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So I was talking about the pathogenic bacteria and non-pathogenic bacteria. So pathogenic bacteria, this is non-pathogenic bacteria, and this is a pathogenic bacteria. There are two types of bacteria. So for pathogenic bacteria identification, a lot of time is required. Whereas for identification of pathogenic, non-pathogenic bacteria, comparatively less time required. So we go for the testing of non-pathogenic bacteria because it indicates the presence of pathogenic bacteria. यांचा survival time जास्त आहे. It is more time survival, and this is a less time survival. If these are present, means there is a possibility of having these are also present. If these are absent, definitely these are absent. So that's why for indication purpose, we go to perform the test of non-pathogenic, which will help us whether the bacterial growth is available in that wastewater or not. Because single bacteria can grow and convert up to thousands of bacteria within a fraction of minutes, or within a very less time they can grow up. So that's why the rate of metabolism is very fast for the microorganism or the bacteria. So that's why bacterial test should be nil. It should be negative. Then only we can say this is a safe one. Okay. So this is about the physical, biological characteristics of wastewater. Usually we focuses on the most probable number, and that can be performed a coliform test. Okay. Most probable number, it can be performed like this test. The sample can be taken into 3 sets of the 5, each of 3 sets of the tube. Each set minimum should require the 5 test tubes. Okay. So how it can be performed? Here, inoculate 10 ml in each tube. Here only 10 ml is inoculated. Okay. 10 ml inoculated means there is a, if it is the capacity of 20 ml to this test tube, 10 ml is added as a wastewater and 10 ml pure water. So here it is inoculated 1 ml and here it is inoculated 0.1 ml. And then you can perform test at 37 degrees Celsius for 24 hours, that MPN test. And then you can check the here all these 5 tests are positive. 5 tests are positives. Means MPN number is very high. And here only 2 tests. म्हणजे जेव्हा आपण quantity कमी केली आहे, concentration कमी होणार की नाही? Quantity of inoculation is reduced. So there will be a reduction in the concentration. Ultimately, there will be less number of tubes will be positive. So here only 2 tubes and here it may be 0. So that way we can perform this MPN test, that is the most probable number in a statistical method used to estimate the viable numbers of bacteria in sample by inoculating broth in broth म्हणजे काय ते agar media असतो म्हणजे एखाद्या भाकरीवरती बॅक्टेरियाची ग्रोथ जशी होती तशी ग्लासवर होती का नाही they need some media where they can grow and for identification purpose also we need to provide some media where they can grow. Okay, likewise this agar broth can be provided to find out the growth of microorganisms for 37 degrees Celsius in 24 hours. Okay, so BOD and COD and all those the characteristics are over. Apart from this, what do you want to ask me? You can ask me. I have finished that characteristic part. Apart from this, if you want to ask me anything, you can ask me. I can talk about treatment of the wastewater if you want, or in that whatever characteristics it is not clear to you, that also you can ask me. Speak out, guys. वरदराज कदम, नवीन संतानी, ओंकार करपे, काय आहे का प्रॉब्लेम विचारू शकता तुम्ही फ्रँकली. कमी जे शिकवलं ते सगळं डोक्यावरून गेलं का, फारच बेसिक होतं ज्याची गरजच नव्हती. Speak out, guys. No problem. Datta Mane is saying no problem. Okay, do you want more from me? Anything else? Navin Santan is also saying no problem. You can unmute yourself and you can talk. Sarthak Nalode is saying no. Means what? Ajun kai shiku naka. Baaz zala madam. Is that mean? Mayur Mani, what is the meaning of hope? Good. Boys are responding in your class. This is positive thing actually. In my class, 3rd year I am teaching, only girls are responding. But here I am finding boys are also responding. I am happy. Athav, you are disturbing the class. Okay, Amruta madam.
Hello, ma'am.
Ha, please.
You can explain MPN method in short.
Most probable number method actually. Okay, sure. Anything else? अजून कोणाला काय पाहिजे का? अजून कोणाला पाहिजे? हा? Yes.
Activated slash process थोडंसं explain करा सगळ्यांना.
Okay, sure. No problem. Okay, I will go one after another. First, I will explain MPN method. Actually, this is a test. This is a simple test to be performed in a laboratory, and for that purpose, you require the incubator. Okay, most probable number test can be performed with the help of incubator. What is incubator? Incubator is a refrigerator type of instrument. In that instrument, you can control the temperature. How to control the temperature? BOD test usually performed for 3 days. 3 days, if it is 3 days, 20 degrees Celsius. And if it is for 5 days, it can be 25 degrees Celsius. Okay. So, sorry, ulta. If it is for 3 days, 25 degrees Celsius. And if it is for 5 days, it will be for 20 degrees Celsius. मग जर तुम्हाला 20 डिग्री सेल्सिअसला सेट करायचं असेल तर तुम्ही ते 20 डिग्री सेल्सिअस हे टेम्परेचर सेट करू शकता. मग त्याच्यामध्ये एक हीटर आणि एक कूलर अशा 2 सिस्टीम असतात. जेव्हा तुमचं टेम्परेचर तुम्ही 20 डिग्री सेल्सिअस सेट केलेलं आहे त्यावेळेस ते 20 डिग्री सेल्सिअस असंच कॉन्स्टंट नाही राहत. तर काय होतं की समजा ते 19 डिग्री सेल्सिअस आहे, त्या केसमध्ये काय होतं की हीटर चालू होतं अँड इट स्टार्ट्स रायझिंग अप द टेम्परेचर इन दॅट. तो रेफ्रिजरेटर टाइपच दिसतो पण बर. ओके. आणि मग त्याच्यामध्ये राईज व्हायला टेम्परेचर सुरू होतं. इट विल गोज अबाव द 20 डिग्री सेल्सिअस ऍट दॅट टाइम. इट विल नॉट बी गेटिंग क्लोज immediately at the 20 degree Celsius because entire volume is being considered over there. Okay. मग ते सगळ्या बाजूला टेम्परेचर पोहोचेपर्यंत ते राईज होत राहतं आणि जेव्हा ते 20च्या अभाव गेले हे लक्षात येतं त्या सेन्सरच्या त्यावेळेस काय होतं की हीटर बंद होतो आणि कूलर चालू होतं आणि टेम्परेचर जर 22 पर्यंत गेलं असेल तर इट विल ट्राय टू टेक इट अप टू द 20 and in that case it goes sometimes below 20. Again the same cycle will start, that is starting of closing up, switching up cooler and starting of heater. That way cycle keeps on going on. That is known as the incubator. Means you can incubate something at a certain temperature in a particular system. That is known as the incubator. So most probable number test we can perform by using the incubator. Okay, and that test represents the bacterial density which is most likely to be present as a E. coli. What is meant by E. coli? E. coli is a or the B. coli or E. coli. These types of these coliform group of these bacteria is a non-pathogenic bacteria. And just now, as I mentioned, lifespan of non-pathogenic bacteria is more than the lifespan of pathogenic bacteria. म्हणजे आपण इथं काय करतो की इंडिकेट करतो की जर नॉन पॅथोजेनिक बॅक्टेरिया प्रेझेंट आहेत तर शक्यता आहे की पॅथोजेनिक बॅक्टेरिया पण प्रेझेंट असतील. नॉन पॅथोजेनिक बॅक्टेरिया ऍब्सेंट आहेत म्हणजेच डेफिनेटली देयर इज अ ऍब्सेन्स ऑफ पॅथोजेनिक बॅक्टेरिया. So for indication purpose we are using that coliform test. Now when we take that most probable number test, it will based on the density. It is based on the density. म्हणजे काय केलं जातं की एक पुट्रिसिबल प्लेट घेतली जाते, ग्लासची प्लेट. इज माय कॅमेरा विजिबल टू यू गाइस?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके. अशी एक ग्लासची प्लेट घेतली जाते आणि त्या ग्लासच्या प्लेट मध्ये ते अगार मीडिया ओतला जातो. अगार मीडिया म्हणजे एक न्यूट्रिएंट असतं, न्यूट्रिएंटचं बेस. म्हणजे सिम्पली आपण अगदी सोप्या भाषेत बोलायचं झालं तर ते सेरेलॅक माहिती लहान मुलांना पाजतात त्या टाइपचं न्यूट्रिएंट मटेरियल असतं. ते न्यूट्रिएंट मटेरियल काय केलं जातं की त्या गरम करून पाण्यामध्ये मिक्स करून गरम करून ते त्या पोर केलं जातं त्या प्लेटमध्ये आणि ते थंड होऊ दिली जाते प्लेट. मग एक मस्त न्यूट्रिएंट बेस तयार होतो त्या प्लेटमध्ये आणि ज्या सॅम्पलचं टेस्ट आपल्याला करायचं आहे त्या सॅम्पलचे ड्रॉप 3 ड्रॉप 4 ड्रॉप असे त्या बेसवरती टाकले जातात 1 तासानंतर जेव्हा ते कूल झालेले पूर्ण त्यावेळेस. आणि ती टाकल्यानंतर ती प्लेट आपण त्या इन्क्युबेटर मध्ये एका ठराविक टेम्परेचरला, युजली एमपीएन टेस्ट ही 35 डिग्री सेल्सिअसला केली जाते आणि ती 48 तासासाठी केली जाते. बरोबर आहे? 35 डिग्री सेल्सिअस 48 तास. मग ती त्या इन्क्युबेटर मध्ये ठेवायची आणि इन्क्युबेटर मध्ये ठेवल्यानंतर 48 तासानंतर 35 डिग्री सेल्सिअस टेम्परेचर मध्ये काय होतं तर त्या पाण्यामध्ये जी आपण पाणी टेस्ट करण्यासाठी वापरलेलं आहे की ज्याच्यात बॅक्टेरिया प्रेझेंट आहेत का नाही, त्याच्यामध्ये बॅक्टेरिया असतात आणि त्या सफिशियंट ग्रोथ ची बेस मिळाल्यामुळं त्या ग्रो होतात आणि त्याचे कोलिफॉर्म दिसायला सुरुवात होतात 2 दिवसानंतर. कोलिफॉर्म म्हणजे तुम्हाला आता सांगायचं झालं तर बुरशी बघितली आपण कधी चपातीवर भाकरीवर लागलेली, ती दिसते आपल्या डोळ्याने. बरोबर आहे का? अशा कापसासारखा छोटासा गट्टू दिसायला सुरुवात होतो किंवा एखादा पेढा तुम्ही पावसाळ्याच्या दिवसात असा ठेवलेला असेल तर त्याच्यावर पण बुरशी चढलेली असती, असे थोडस कापसासारखं वाटतं. सो दॅट काइंड ऑफ कोलिफॉर्म्स, असं ग्रुप 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 त्या ह्याच्यावरती तयार झालेले असतात. मग वन गठ्ठा, एक गठ्ठा म्हणजे एक कोलिफॉर्म असा कन्सिडर केला जातो. एक गठ्ठा म्हणजे एक कोलिफॉर्म केला जातो आणि ते मोस्ट प्रोबॅबल नंबर काउंट केले जातात. दिस इज द वन वे टू गो टू मेजर द क्वांटिटी ऑफ कोलिफॉर्म. ओके. आणि अनदर वे इज टू गो टू मेजर बाय युजिंग द ट्यूब्स. आता ट्यूब्स मध्ये मोजायचं असेल तर तुम्हाला काय केलं जातं की पहिलं तर तुम्ही एक ट्यूब घ्यायच्या, साधारणपणे एक ट्यूबचा 5 ट्यूबचा एक सेट घ्यायचा, 5 ट्यूबचा एक सेट घ्यायचा. असे 3 ते 4 सेट घ्यायचे. त्या 3 ते 4 सेट मध्ये वेगवेगळं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन तुम्ही टाकायचं, वेगवेगळं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन ठेवायचं. म्हणजे जर समजा मगाशी मी फिगर मध्ये तुम्हाला दाखवलेलं होतं, ती फिगर मी शेअर करते थोड्या वेळात. तर त्या फिगर मध्ये तुम्ही काय करता की सॉरी, त्या टेस्ट ट्यूब मध्ये काय करता की पहिला गठ्ठा त्याला तो बाइंड करून टाकायचा आणि तो गठ्ठा 1 असा आयडेंटिफाय करायचा. त्या प्रत्येक ह्याच्यात एक पहिला तुमचं बेसिक सोल्युशन असेल ते डिस्टिल वॉटर असेल आणि डिस्टिल वॉटर मध्ये थोडस अगार मीडिया असेल आणि त्या अगार मीडियामध्ये तुम्ही काय करणार आहे की परत त्याच्यामध्ये एक 0.1 ml टाकेल पहिल्या सेटमध्ये, दुसऱ्या सेटमध्ये 1 ml टाकाल, तिसऱ्या सेटमध्ये 5 ml टाकाल, चौथ्या सेटमध्ये 10 ml टाकाल. असं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन वाढवत जायचं. मग त्या कॉन्सन्ट्रेशननं त्याचा एक स्टँडर्ड चार्ट असतो की तुमच्या किती टेस्ट ट्यूब्स पॉझिटिव्ह आले. ते समजा 5 टेस्ट ट्यूब पॉझिटिव्ह आल्या तर ते कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन किती अमाऊंट ऑफ एमपीएम प्रोबॅबल नंबर इज, इट्स अ मोस्ट प्रोबॅबल नंबर, मोस्ट प्रोबॅबल प्रोबॅबिलिटी काढतो आपण. आलं का लक्षात? तिथं इट इंडिकेट्स द प्रोबॅबिलिटी. इट इज नॉट द एक्झॅक्ट काउंट, इट इज प्रोबॅबिलिटी. And in case of bacterial test, it is quite difficult to find out the exact count. So probability is fine, and that too probability we are finding for the non-pathogenic bacteria, not for the pathogenic bacteria. Are you getting? This is
Yes, ma'am.
Most probable number. Thank you. Now, if it is clear to you guys, I will open. I have some presentations. Let me check about the activated sludge process. As madam requested for this activated sludge process, let me check that. अच्छा, तुम्ही मॅडमनी शेअर केलेलं त्याच्यामध्ये पण आहे ना ऍक्टिव्हेटेड स्लज प्रोसेस मॅडम?
हा, त्याच्यामध्ये आहे.
आहेत ना? ओके, वन सिंपल फिगर आय हॅव विथ दिस आय कॅन शो, आय कॅन एक्सप्लेन. ओके, व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग आहे बरं का ही. मोस्ट कंट्रोल एम एक घेते मी स्लाइड, एमटी स्लाइड घेते. Activated sludge process. Activated sludge process खूप इंटरेस्टिंग आहे. Usually the wastewater treatment includes, थोडंसं बॅकग्राऊंड सांगते आणि मग नंतर activated sludge process कडे येते. Okay, so usually wastewater treatment process starts with a screening method. Okay, first unit operation. Yes, yes, anybody? Usually it starts with the screening unit where we can remove the larger size particles. Then sewage will move forward towards the grit chamber, and here in a grit chamber we usually remove the grits. Okay, grits in the sense what I will explain. Let me draw first. Roughly I am drawing. Then this is a primary clarifier. Then there will be an aeration tank. And then there will be the secondary clarifier. and then wastewater will go out. This is a typical wastewater treatment method. This is a typical wastewater treatment method. Here we are removing a larger size. With a simple bars are arranged diagonally in the direction of flow of water, and floating particles will be removed. म्हणजे plastic carry bag, paper, pen, then eggshells, likewise material can be removed here. Then grids, the debris particles like the pebbles, stones, glass, broken glass, pieces of metals, that can be removed from the by using the grid chamber. Then sedimentation, or the primary clarifier, you can say, or primary sedimentation tank, you can say. Here, settleable particles by gravity, whatever the particles settle by the gravity, by reducing the velocity of flow, can be removed at the from the bottom. So this is known as the primary settled sludge, and that is need to be removed. Then supernatant liquid will go towards the aeration process. Okay, I will talk about this later on. And then secondary clarifier, here also we are allowing them to settle down, and settle the sludge we are removing, and together that primary settling sludge and secondary settling sludge will be sent for the sludge treatment. It will be sent for the sludge treatment. Okay, so now here, if it is the aeration, now दोन टाइपचे सिस्टम तुम्ही डिझाइन करू शकता. एक म्हणजे मी आता हे टिपिकल वेस्ट वॉटर ट्रीटमेंट सिस्टम. अगेन आय एम मेन्शनिंग द वर्ड टिपिकल because as per requirements, as per characteristics of wastewater, and as per the characteristic we want at the outlet, we can change the flow sheets. Okay, so it is a typical flow sheet. आता ह्याला सबस्टिट्यूट म्हणून आपण काय करू शकतो की हे युनिट सेम राहील, हे युनिट सेम राहील, हे युनिट सेम राहील. फक्त एरिएशनच्या ऐवजी आपण काय करू शकतो की ट्रिकलिंग फिल्टर डिझाइन करू शकतो. ट्रिकलिंग फिल्टर ऍड करू शकतो, आणि ट्रिकलिंग फिल्टर मध्ये मग जे काही तुम्ही जी प्रोसेस एरिएशन करणार आहे ती प्रोसेस ट्रिकलिंग फिल्टरने करू शकता. अँड अगेन परत सेकंडरी क्लॅरिफायर सेम राहतो. ठीक आहे, पण हे आणि हे दोन्ही एकत्र असत नाही. These are the substitute arrangement. These two are the substitute arrangements. Okay, so this is the typical wastewater treatment plant. Now I will talk you about the activated sludge process. So in an activated sludge process, what happens in a primary clarifier? Around 25% to 30% BOD gets removed. BOD remove होतं म्हणजे काय? Why BOD causes to the wastewater? Because organic material is present in the wastewater. इथं ग्रीड पार्टिकल म्हणजे मोठे मोठे गोट्या, दगड गोट्या आहेत ते सेटल होत आहेत, आणि इथं जे फाईन पार्टिकल पण सस्पेंडेड काइंडचे सॉलिड्स आहेत ते सेटल होत आहेत. पण जे डिझॉल्व्ड आणि व्हेरी फाईन पार्टिकल्स आहेत ते ऑर्गॅनिक मॅटर युजली म्हणतो आपण त्याला, दॅट इज नॉट गेटिंग रिमूव्ड इन अ पीएसटी. मग जो 70% राहिलेला पार्ट आहे त्यातला तो रिमूव्ह करण्यासाठी आपण काय करतो तर that is not easy to separate it out by simple filtration or simple sedimentation process. So here we are taking the help of microorganisms. Here, as दुश्मन का दुश्मन दोस्त होता है ना, so here we are taking the help of microorganisms. So organic material is our we want to remove from this wastewater. So we are taking the help of microorganisms. What microorganisms do? Microorganism needs the organic material as a food for them. Organic material is a food for the microorganisms. Okay, and microorganisms they will eat this organic material. Microorganisms will eat this organic material as a food. But for eating, or simply in a scientific language, we can say microorganism can decompose or degrade the organic material. And for degradation purpose, they need some energy. And that energy is nothing but the oxygen. So here in an aeration tank, we are providing sufficient amount of oxygen to the microorganisms. and hence these microorganisms becomes enough competent to degrade the organic material with a faster rate. So they can degrade it. They can degrade it. And that degraded material म्हणजे काय झालं आता इथं डिग्रेड होतं म्हणजेच काय होतं की तुम्हाला जितक्या सिंपल लँग्वेज मध्ये समजेल तितक्या सिंपल लँग्वेज मध्ये समजवायचा प्रयत्न करते मी. म्हणजेच काय होतं की हे ऑर्गॅनिक मटेरियल जे फाईन व्हेरी फाईन पार्टिकल फॉर्म मध्ये आहे ते काय होतं की इतरत्र सगळीकडे डिझॉल्व्ह फॉर्म मध्ये आणि कोलायडल फॉर्म मध्ये सगळीकडे पसरते आणि त्यामुळे त्यांना सेपरेट करणं डिफिकल्ट जाते. तर इथं आपण काय केलं की ऑक्सिजन दिला की मायक्रो ऑर्गॅनिझम काय करायला सुरुवात करतात की त्यांना खायला सुरुवात करतात. नाव a huge amount of organic material is present in a stomach of one microorganism, and that microorganism becomes healthy, and that is what we expect. आणि मग हा पिरियड साधारणपणे 20 ते 24 तासाचा पिरियड देतो आपण इथं की त्यांना एरिएट करतो आणि एरिएट केल्यानंतर काय होतं की एरिएशन जितका ऑक्सिजन मिळत राहील तितकं ते डिग्रेडेशन करत राहतात. So entire organic material, almost entire organic material, they decompose, and then we send that entire waste along with that oxygen, microorganisms, liquid, waste, everything we are sending to the secondary clarifier. Here in a secondary clarifier, we are allowing them to settle. जे आता पार्टिकल इथं सेटल होऊ शकत नव्हते का तर ते फाईन पार्टिकल फॉर्म मध्ये होते. Now they have become a heavier one because it is in a stomach of microorganism, and now because they become heavier they can easily settle down at the bottom, and from that bottom you can remove the entire sludge and we need to waste it. Okay, we are supposed to give the treatment to this. Okay, we are supposed to give the treatment to this waste sludge also, but we are not sending that sludge, settled sludge. It is nothing but the bacteria. These are nothing but the bacteria, and when they are in this portion, from this portion to this portion, at that period these are very active. They are hungry, they want more food, but organic material is finished. Then what they do, they start killing each other. जसं की मोठा मासा छोट्या माशाला खातो त्या पद्धतीनं they start killing each other, and what happens because of that, they will that they becomes active. They need more energy, they need more amount of organic material. So means that active mass of microorganisms, we are taking back some quantity of that active mass of microorganism, we are taking back to the aeration tank, that is known as the return sludge, a return of active sludge. And because what happens because of returning that active sludge, the rate of degradation process increases in the aeration tank for the new coming slot of the wastewater. And that's why these because we are returning the active part of sludge for the increasing the speed of degradation in an aeration tank, this entire process is known as the activated sludge process. ही एवढी जी आहे सिस्टीम त्याला काय म्हणतात, activated sludge process. कळालं का अजून एकदा एक्सप्लेन करू?
कळलं मॅडम.
Thank you. Okay, so with this fair figure I will show you here. I will erase this now. You can see here raw water. याच्या अगोदरची तुम्हाला दाखवायची काही गरज नाहीये. Sewage will enter into the aeration tank. Here we are supplying air, addition of air, will take that means gas transfer. We can say it is a gas transfer. So if you are adding air, if you are adding a air here, at that time odorable gases gets eliminated. Odorable gases gets eliminated. This is the first function happens. Another function, that atmospheric oxygen is getting consumed by this microorganism, and this microorganism becomes a active to decompose the organic material. Okay, and then this entire mass along with the liquid waste is sending towards the clarifier, and because the weight of that organic material increased, it can be possible to settle down at the bottom by the gravity. So that sludge we are removing, sending as a waste, but you are not sending entire sludge. Very few part, quantity, some quantity you are returning back to for the further seeding purpose. Okay, that active mass who need more food for the degradation, they can be sent for here. जर आधी तुम्हाला 10 तास लागत असतील तर हे साधारणपणे 5 तासात काम डिग्रेडेशन होऊ शकतं, बिकॉज इट इज द ऍक्टिव्ह मास. ह्या ज्या येणाऱ्या बॅक्टेरिया आहेत त्या इतक्या हेल्दी नसतात, त्या हेल्दी होईपर्यंत त्यांना सफिशियंट एअर मिळून त्या हेल्दी बनायला सुरुवात होते, आणि मग जेव्हा ते हेल्दी बनतात त्यावेळेस ते डिग्रेडेशन चालू करतात, आणि it takes a lot of time, but that time can be consumed by returning the active mass of microbial from the secondary clarifier to primary clarifier. And because we are recycling the active mass of microorganisms, we can say it is a activated sludge process. Okay, so if you have any question you can ask me, otherwise I hope I need to take a break, because since morning already I have taken a 4 hours lecture, and this is your almost 1.5 hours.
कोणाला काही डाऊट असेल तर विचारा. Okay.
I'm available in the degree engineering cabin. So if you have any doubts, you can come and you can approach me later on also. If you are not having doubt now, let it be. But forever you can come and meet me and ask me questions. Yes, madam, I'm done.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your valuable time and guiding our students. मॅमला वेळ नव्हता, त्याच्यातून मॅडमनी आपल्यासाठी इतका वेळ काढून आपल्याला लेक्चर डिलिव्हर केलेलं आहे. सो आय विल थँक डॉक्टर PSK मॅम, PS क्षीरसागर मॅम. थँक्यू सो मच मॅम. आणि तुमचं कोणाला काही डाऊट असेल तर विचारू शकता मॅडमला, नाहीतर चॅट बॉक्स मध्ये तुम्ही रोल नंबर टाकून लेफ्ट झालं तरी चालेल.
थँक्यू विनायक जी. Thank you everybody. So with this note, I declare this session is over. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. May I? Madam, I think they are dropping their roll number.
Roll number मी करते मॅडम कॉपी चॅट.
नाही करत. So shall I end up meeting?
5 मिनिटांनी एंड करा मॅडम. रेकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप करा.
हाँ?
रेकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप करा. 5 मिनिटांनी एंड करा.